Hey guys, welcome to my channel. Today, we're going to be talking about how we don't necessarily need to allow our triggers and our wounds to hijack our authentic self. Watch this video. Hey everybody, welcome to my channel. If you're new, please click the subscribe button and the bell to receive notifications when I release new videos. And if you've been with us for a while, thank you so much and welcome back. This topic came forward in my inner work group today. We were talking about how people oftentimes feel like their immediate reactions to a trigger or a wounding hijacks their authenticity. And then people, what they do oftentimes is self-blame and self-judge and get mad at themselves for having this come up. One of the most amazing things we can actually start to do in healing is realize that these triggers are not our fault, right? So often people will do a whole bunch of inner work and then they'll be like, Candace, I just backtracked like 500 years because this trigger again. What's wrong? Why do I keep triggering? What I say is we have to make friends with the trigger. I know it sounds nuts, right? Why would I make friends with something that hijacks my reality and takes me out of my authenticity and my power and does something that I'm maybe not proud of or acts out in some way? And for me, in my opinion, these moments are such a training ground for unconditionally loving ourselves. Having a boundary around our training and our inner work, but also noting that every time these triggers come up, it means it's not yet healed. It means there's something else it's trying to say. I always ask my clients, what is that saying though? What is the trigger saying? Give it a voice. It's very important and powerful to give it a voice, because when you give a voice to an emotional reaction or a trigger of some sort, what you're doing is you're giving it the proper power. The not so proper power is the reaction that you have or the habit that you're about to do or the sabotage you created. We also need to learn how to forgive ourselves for that. But what we need to do is give it a voice so it has a place to be heard. So many of us have triggers because we have inferiority or we're insecure or we don't feel seen or heard or we're not getting the attention we think we need, right? So that's why this happens. So if we give it the attention it deserves, not too much, but proper attention and say, I see you, I hear you, I know that there's something off. What is this saying? What is this? We start to make friends with the part of ourselves that feels so rejected. A trigger, think about what a trigger is. Everything's great in your relationship. I just actually had someone email me this today, so this is a perfect example. Everything's great in your relationship. I'll give you this example of this girl because it was kind of perfect. She was telling me that she used to date really controlling men. And recently, and she didn't like that because she didn't get to be free in her relationship. She'd have to worry about things that she was doing in case he didn't like it, right? A lot of you can relate. And now she's done all this inner work and kind of shifted her life after Saturn returns, and she's dating this new guy who's totally not jealous, like lets her do all these things. However, all of a sudden, she's getting insecure. And I told her, well, it makes sense because people who are uncertain of themselves or have a lot of self-doubt actually like a partner who's controlling because they basically know how to stay in alignment, right? Stay in line with them and please them. So there's less insecurity. I know how to make them happy. They control me, so I know what I need to do. This is where I need to be. This is the structure, right? It doesn't sound healthy, and it's not, but it is why a lot of people choose to be with controlling partners so that they don't have to worry about messing up. So they know what to do to get you to be happy with me, right? So I was sharing that with her and she's like, oh shit. So it's interesting that when someone feels out of control, they want a partner who's controlling. As soon as that partner isn't controlling and you still have some more inner work to do, you might start to feel really insecure. The trigger will pop up because that person no longer has control, right? So they're not band-aiding your own control issues, right? So when that person is no longer your Band-Aid, your control issues come up. Her inner critic was super, super loud. She needed someone to control her so she could feel enough according to him. Makes sense, right? And when I shared that insight with her, she's like, shit, what do I do? And I said, well, this is great information. You have a trigger because it wasn't ever healed. It was band-aided by the controlling male. Now you're going to have to deal with your out of control feelings because you don't have someone controlling you. The good news about this is, why do you feel safe with control, right? So then we go back into the inner child. We talked about her mother. We looked at how she could never be enough for mom. Well, then if I feel controlled, I know how to be enough for you. And here's the good news is now we have to find out how you can love yourself enough for yourself and really own the truth of you without having some kind of measure to measure up with. Every time you get triggered, you're looking for that and you can't find it. So eventually this trigger for her will leave when she integrates this idea that I am actually enough for myself without somebody else's rules. Right? And not having to earn love and not having to be something for someone, but be enough on your own and love that and own that you now are okay with and can accept a healthy partner who's going to reflect to you the freedom within you. And you don't have to feel insecure and scared that they're going to leave if they're not controlling me. These triggers show us not, oh my gosh, I've just gone backwards, but maybe there's more forward movement to be happening here. Maybe if I'm still triggered after all this work, like with this girl, she would have had no idea that her trigger was because he wasn't controlling. She just thought there was some insecurity that came out of nowhere. I'm like, no, control is a huge band-aid for people who don't have full identity going on. They don't really know themselves or don't know how to. Let's say she's a people pleaser. You are safe with a controlling person because you know how to please them. With somebody who's not controlling and you still have that wound now, it's going to be a trigger for you because you're not going to know where you're at with him at any time. And the goal is to know that I'm enough and I'm good. So if we have a secure attachment, my triggers might go away. Right? So think about, what are your triggers? Are they pulling you off your authentic self? Okay. But what you also have to understand is we have to be real about how we feel so we can heal. This is your authentic self. Right now, the authentic reality for you is you're still getting triggered because you still got more healing to do. We need to make friends with the triggers so that we don't start to blame ourselves and judge ourselves for pulling ourselves off the trigger or off the authentic path, right? Instead, say, thank you for showing me more of the work I need to do to hone in on and claim and reside in my authentic self more often. If we are nice to our triggers and we integrate them, we're still in our authentic self. You guys see that? It's kind of fun. So anyway, I have to mention this. We are having a massive sale for small businesses, Black Friday, all that stuff this weekend. I don't know what day this video is going out, but it's starting Friday, the 26th. Is that the accurate date? Friday, Saturday, Sunday. It is nearly 50% off of coaching sessions in my packages. So if you're interested in that, the links are below. That is only 3 days. And other than that, there's a whole bunch of other offerings that are going to be listed in the description of this video. I love you guys. Come say hi to me on Instagram or TikTok. I'm new over there on TikTok. Please share this with one person you think it could heal. And if you have any comments or questions below, please leave them and I'll see you guys in the comments. I hope you guys have a great week. Bye.